Hello, myself Sunil Ramkrishnan Nair. Here, basically, we are discussing about the formula topic. This is basically the 154th number uh, part, and here, basically, we are going to discuss a little bit more about the formulas. Basically, yesterday we have discussed about the Bollywood industry blood cells. Basically, are taken and lots of dogs, cats, and birds and trees are created from their blood cells energy. So, and the negative effect is also there. For example, there are 250 500 dogs and 250 are not in good condition, so that 250s are going to affect to their blood cells also. That is basically the actors Bollywood groups blood cells also. Reason is the opposite direction effect, basically you can say. The nuclear company, power companies, and the energy companies are basically the taking the energies and again processing, and they are sending to the Bollywood groups basically. So they are basically have different pipelines. Basically, in these pipelines, basically they are sending the data of the energies basically, which they are going to take. So like this, basically we are discussing about the a few topics, and here basically we have stopped yesterday in next generation topic. Next generation means what is next? Next means agla. What is next? Next means you can say, for example, I want to go to certain areas. So there are set of steps basically you can create it. There are set of roadmaps basically created by the certain groups, by the governments basically, and few private groups are also involved in this. So they have decided, they have setted the plans, and according to this only basically you can reach to that destination. So that is next basically you can say. For example, after 1 kilometer you have to move to left. So that left basically you are going to move. That is the next, and then basically you are going to move to right. So that is next basically. So up to what level basically next will happen, so that you will be going to reach to the destination basically you want to reach. So that is basically decided by the roadmap creation group basically. This basically connects like this. For example, there are many roadmaps basically created in this world basically you can say. For example, I will take one example. The entire earth planet, right? In entire earth planet, if I say that there are around 12 to 13 crore roads. This is basically just taking as a rough example, a rough number basically, but just a user story basically you have to understand. 12 crore roadmaps are taken basically, right? So 12 crore roads are created. So if you want to reach to that destination, you have to basically you have to go through this road only basically, then only you can able to reach that destination, because the roadmap has created like that. So if you want to reach to certain destination, then basically this is the roadmap which is created by the government and by the private companies basically, you can say. So like this the roadmaps are created, and each and every roadmaps are mapped also basically you can say. And like this the entire roadmaps are created by the private and the government sector basically, that you can say. So like this each and every stuffs are designed also you can say. The satellites are mapped with the each and every roads basically you can say. For example, railway basically runs with the help of certain wires, right? Power supply basically chain and the track basically. But in real basically it does not only works on the base of this formula. There are certain satellites basically which are basically giving the pressure to the trains, and then only basically it's running basically. Because through few set of power cables and through a set of track basically train never runs up to certain speed basically, it's not possible. Practically it is not possible. If science says that this is possible, then also it's not possible. There are certain powers basically connected with this, that are basically the satellites power basically. So on the base of the satellite power basically the trains are running. So uh, here basically we can take few example also, like subscription plan is there. Subscription plan is taken by the Indian government, and on the base of certain subscription basically the cities are getting running basically you can say. And the subscription plan is like this, that 20 percentage of people are going to get disease, and rest of people are going not going to get the disease. And the people who are rich people, they basically creates their own subscription plan basically, because they says that we have our own subscription plan. So government is not supposed to aware about, not supposed to take care of this all the thing. We will take care of ourselves basically, because we have money. So everywhere basically you can say it's connection is of the money basically, you can say. The subscription plan government is taking, so they have certain budgets basically, you can say. So on the base of certain budgets, they are basically taking the subscription plan, and it's the government, so they have to take care of each and every sectors, medical sectors, health sectors, and monetary sectors, the business sector, the management sector. Each and every sectors the government has created, so they have to take care of that sector also. So according to that, basically they takes the subscription plan basically, you can say. So here basically we are discussing what the next generation basically. That is basically how the next generation is going to run, is going to prepare. For example, yesterday I had taken an example of one boy and girl basically got the marriage, and the marriage basically was taken, and the next generation was one boy and one girl. So that is basically next generation, you can say. So that is basically the example according to the human basically, you can say, human tendency basically. That is basically next generation of human basically, you can say. And what is next generation of so each and every sector basically, if we say that next generation are there, in software sector basically it's taken, given the word is version basically, that is next generation. That this version basically contains this many part, in next version basically it's going to come some other parts basically. So that is basically the next generation of the software industry. And the generation keeps on going, and generation ends basically when the software says that yeah, now the data basically which you are collecting, that data will not get collected in the future. So then basically they stops the software and the generation ends here of that particular software. So that is basically the version is going to end, and whatever the version was last, that so that was the his last generation basically, that's of the data processing basically, that's it. And basically everybody knows that the software do the process of all the human needs, that are basically vegetables, petrols, each and every human needs basically, you can say. And sometimes basically nowadays the software industry has generated the human souls also basically, and human souls basically everybody knows what is that. Without that basically birth doesn't happen. For example, ladies and gents basically, and generates the next generation, but without souls basically, human souls basically, which has to enter into the body, then only the basically the generation starts basically, you can say. So the activation of generation basically, you can say. So this is basically just taken as an example. In real basically there are many certain process for the birth generation, but here basically I'm just in, I will take few example, more example also. Few people says that we have created few foods from the human souls. Software company says that we have if you eat this food, then basically this is going to generate these human souls. So you can just imagine up to the level the technical industry has also reached. So if you eat this food, then your birth will get activate. So basically, it's very tracking. Also, it's very difficult. Basically, that basically the software industry says that we have the energy level, software power. So on the base of that, basically, we can easily able to track that which food has which food basically the this girls has eaten, this set of girls basically has eaten, and on the base of the generation has started. So each and every food also basically, whatever food basically you eat, that basically also that is basically you can say it's a special foods basically, you can say. And if it's a birth food, then basically you can just imagine the cost of that food also basically, you can say. So it might be 100% very costly also basically, you can say. So nowadays the technology has reached up to this level also, you can say. You can just imagine if you eat this food, your birth then generation get starts. But that is basically very less people do this type of activities. Otherwise, they keeps the track in the, yeah, souls only basically, you can say. So this was basically about the next generation, and here basically we are going to stop here. And in this is basically 154th number and 155th, where basically we are going to discuss a little bit more about the next generation of each and every sector of the Earth planet, which is telling that this next generation is going to happen 100%.